correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
You guys have a little bit of time if there's any prep work people want to do. Otherwise, we're just going to jump to the meeting in the tavern.
I just need to go back and prep the tavern for this meeting. So meet with the staff and make sure that everything's in order. Let them know what's going on.
No problem. It's done. What is a signature thing that you're wanting to, or a specific thing that you're wanting to make sure is prepared for this meeting?
A signature thing is there is a, as Terry said, the shepherd's pie is the way between pie. So it's served at these type of meetings here. It has, much like the tavern itself, kind of been dormant. The flavor has been off, but now that the tavern is starting to awaken, it's got this something different in it. Maybe it was a spice that's not necessarily found here, that some of the travelers had brought and has reawakened.
So I think that part of your component being the tavern keeper is that some of your characters, I'm going to use the word aura for lack of a better word, kind of gets infused into the tavern. So I think that because your character is all about bravery and facing difficult odds, I think that this shepherd's pie is infused with some... It basically is helping people feel more braver, like they're able to take on the tribulations of life a little better. And it's very minor at this point. As you bond and grow more powerful with a tavern, it's obviously going to grow and become more nuanced.
Yep, I agree. That's a good take on that.
Love it. Awesome. Cool. So I think you guys are escorted back out. I think you guys are all able to prep. You have whatever you want, whatever you need. And we find ourselves entering kind of the tavern, but it's been cleared out of the regular people. And so but several tables have been put together in the middle to create a kind of a larger table space that's got condiments and different meals and shepherd's pie set out on it. You guys are all present. Hecate is still healing and recovering, but you've been able to converse with her a little bit, but she's just not in a place to be at a meeting quite yet. And then a retinue of Wayne Enterprise people are also present.
So, one of the things that Marcus would like to do, specifically given the comment made by the Wayne Enterprise fellow that we helped, the other thing I checked in my Haven was armory.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll back up. You guys are not sitting down at the table yet. Do all of you go to this armory together?
Yeah.
Well, my perception, and Oaken, feel free to inject as you will, your sword/mop is clearly already magical. Mm-hmm. One of the items I checked for myself on creation is a blessed knife, which leaves one member of our party needing, in Marcus's estimation, to have some sort of magical-ish weapon.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, if you would like me to roll for that...
Hell, I can even drive us there with my old beat-up VW Bug.
This is before cars, bro.
Oh!
Yeah, this is more like...
Right, I forgot that was the... I forgot this was like the Old West. Okay, so sorry, my buggy.
There we go. You got like a
broken down wet.
You got like you got a donkey instead of a horse. Yeah.
Like a buckboard.
No, wait. Early Americas, so it's like one of those early crank cars, where it's like I just gotta and we're just it's making those awful noises.
It was a Wayne Enterprise car that broke, and they didn't try to fix it, and like you somehow figured it out.
I found it
Perfect.
in the junkyard and repaired it.
Perfect.
So the
Put it
dice
together
on
again.
my end are hot. I rolled an 11.
Okay.
Oh shit!
So I don't know how you would like to interpret that as for what I'm able to provide for Norman.
So I think because of your armory, we're gonna narratively play this. Or let me back up. Do you want this to be something that you have created, or something that you found that you have found?
I think it's more something I've found. Yeah, basically, what I'm looking to do is ensure that we all have something appropriate to fight this thing.
Got it. So what I was going to make happen, I think fits perfectly then into this narrative. I think the three of you go to Marcus's shop. I think top floor is probably the library. He takes you down underground, like opens this vault door. You guys go into a sub-basement. And in there, he does this like weird Rube Goldberg machine to get a door open, and like you step in, and seated at the table, feet up, reclining, is Angus. Right. I think you guys finally figured out where you're gonna be going. I forget what Angus's voice is, by the way. Sorry, guys. I think you finally figured out what you guys are gonna be going against.
Well, it does appear, according to our information, that they are known as Nightmare Race.
Then you're probably gonna need this. And he's gonna pull out a sawed-off shotgun, like that double barrel like shotgun, put it on the table, and he pulls out some bullets that are glowing.
I'll be those some glowing bullets.
I think this will consider debts paid.
Fair enough. I tell you what, Norman, you take that one. I have my trusty old Edith here, and pulls out his own sawed-off shotgun from the inside of his coat. But I will take you split the shells if you don't mind.
I don't mind nothing at all.
So
You would give me this fancy pea shooter.
Just be careful. That one, well, as Angus says, these are special.
Oh, they look special to me.
Angus is
Like
gonna
we could call.
finish a shot of your really expensive alcohol here, and he steps up and he's about to walk out. He kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder, not like in a condescending way, but kind of like mentory friend way. Oh, something you need to know about those shells. They're gonna cost you a beautiful a memory. And with that, he walks out.
Oh well, shit. I ain't got much of those left.
Perfect. So now I'll do that smash evade. You guys are sitting around the table. You guys have been eating and chatting with the Wayne Enterprise people. And just, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Martha Wayne is the head of the household. And so thank you so much for saving my nephew. I'm sorry we weren't able to save the other two, but thank you for bringing him back to us.
Well, it's our hope that perhaps if we deal with the bigger problem, perhaps they might recover. But your nephew was at least speaking, so we were able to do a little more.
I appreciate this. I'm sorry I came on so strongly earlier. Any deaths of the family, well, we take it seriously.
Well, of course you do. Your family. No, it's no bother. It happens to the best of us. We all get struck with grief and lash out in ways we don't expect. So, let bygones be bygones and understand your grief is just how you process things. It's all good.
Reginald is going to pop up next to you, Oaken, lean over and whisper in your ear. Sir, it seems a third party is trying to join this negotiation. They've asked politely, but there's something off with their energies. May
Sounds
I
like we got a party.
let them in?
I'd like to speak to them before you do.
I am unsure if I can keep them at bay if they force their way through.
Well, if they're wanting to meet, then there's no need to force.
I'm
If they
really
should be
saying
here.
that if you wish to delay, I'm unsure of how long I can facilitate that.
I'll go say hi to them. It's all right.
You don't hear any of this. This is in my head.
Reginald is doing this in his...
Oh, yeah. Whispery.
Well,
tones,
take me
and
to them
I'm-
now, then.
They're at the front.
I will get up from the table without any words and go to the front.
So you see 3 individuals, nondescript, wearing very formal-looking clothes. They almost look like the Agent Smiths from the Matrix, like very just blah.
God, the Pinkertons.
Standing just outside of your property. And they speak kind of alternating words between them without a clear pattern, all similar tones. We wish to be a part of this negotiation, for we seek to claim this tavern.
See, there's no tavern here that needs claiming, as it's already been claimed.
Well,
I'm going to turn my head as I'm talking to them and look in the mirror.
They're outside. They are outside the mirror.
Okay.
Because the mirror is only good on your property.
Oh, okay. They're outside of the property.
Yeah, so you will have to invite them in for that.
Nope.
So one of them is going to reach up and just slide their hand through, and you hear Reginald kind of shriek in your head, and they'll then go quiet, and you feel as if the tavern has been stunned, and the 3 of them march up to the door.
Well, now my sword's out. And it's a sword.
It's a mop.
It's a flaming mop?
It's a flaming brew.
How about this? Roll me a die, and you call odd or even, and that will tell us which one it was.
Well, we'll go odd.
Okay.
Even.
It's even.
So it's a mop.
Okay.
It's a mop.
See?
So they are going to push their ways in, so they're now like staying just on the inside of the door. We at ALI have tried to be friendly in our acquisition of this location.
I don't let them continue that. I swing at them as soon as they start speaking. You were not invited.
And they're going to look at you. And what is everyone else doing as this is happening?
Well, obviously it's party time, so I'm grabbing the shotgun and getting ready to, intercept our invaders.
I think Marcus just kind of does that noisy chair pivot thing, reaches in and just lifts the bottom of his coat up with the shotgun in it, and let's go at them.
So, as you guys are all doing this, you all 3 fall. And then suddenly it's like you startled there, and you find yourselves in the tavern, but the tavern is rotted and decayed around you. And you each find yourselves facing the thing that haunts you the most. Oaken, you are facing an enemy with a mop. You are facing a death that is not glorious and will not let you enter Valhalla. Marcus, you are facing the decay of your intelligence. You see things in front of you that you know you should understand, but you cannot grasp. Norman, you are back in your trauma. You are back in your loop. You see your friends that you should have saved, but couldn't. Who's got too weird? You feel as if some of your psychic energy is being, some of your energy is being drained. Oaken, remind me what talents you took.
Moves, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
I have Angel Wings and Smite. So my body and my weapons always count as a weakness against monsters I fight.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I guess you can just punch these things then. It doesn't matter. You don't have your sword.
Yeah, my unarmed attacks are harmed to intimidate, hand messy.
fantasy. How are each of you centering yourselves through this psychic assault? Excuse me.
I focus on my other battle sisters that are normally around me, and I call out to them psychically to bolster me in this fight.
What are you doing with your mop?
Brandishing it and hoping that it bursts into flame as my sword.
Awesome. Make me a roll.
What type of roll?
Can we act under pressure?
Yep.
Sounds like you're going to be fighting, so you can make that roll.
To stay for this particular one, based on what I just described of trying to draw my inner peace into me, I'm going to do cool for act under pressure.
Yeah, perfect.
9.
9. Perfect. So as you kind of focus, and you don't hear your battle sisters answer you, you hear Reginald. Sir, I believe you're in trouble. Activating defensive protocols. And suddenly, your broom becomes a bigger sword that is definitely on fire.
Thank you, Reginald.
I'm still operating at reduced capacity, and these beings are putting out some kind of energy field that's negating my abilities. I am afraid I will not be able to offer much more support in your coming conflict. Please don't die, sir. Ma'am, I've grown rather fond of you, ma'am. Cool. How is Marcus dealing with the loss of intellect?
So I think what Marcus does is, for like half a second, he just sort of kind of sits or stands there. And then softly you hear him, objects at rest tend to stay at rest. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And so he's basically chanting like Newton's laws, which are kind of the essence of inventoring.
Love it. I would like a cool roll. I could be talked into a sharp roll because you're kind of like intellectualizing it.
Yeah, I feel like he's tapping into the basics of his intellectualism.
Love it.
Now, I will say, from a game standpoint, my sharp is 2, my cool is 0. If you were going to just roll at 1.
Dude, it is your final game session with us. I want you to feel amazing and awesome. Right. So that's why I'm giving you choices. You also don't metagame.
I took Eric's dice.
I almost have to help you metagame, to be truthful with you.
I took all Eric's dice luck, apparently, because I just got an 11.
Hell yeah. Love this.
Oh, no.
So what you are doing is you're pulling out one of these shotgun shells, and it's like you are manifesting the positive things in your reality for yourself. And you are manifesting a bullet of pure scientific logic, which to you is this beautiful, serene place. And as you're saying it, you're loading the shotgun with these 2 bullets that are kind of creating this bubble of support around you. All right.
I think as he does that, right, double barrel shotgun, you see on one it appears A squared, on the second B squared, and as he closes the shotgun, C squared.
Love it. Awesome. Marcus, what are you doing?
Wait, Marcus?
Norman, sorry.
There you go. All right. Because Norman is old, because this is an old memory, and I feel like something that he had worked through and accepted, and in the sense that
the Nightmare Witch thinks it's a negative thing.
Yeah, because he finally, after years and years boiling over people that he couldn't save, he learned to celebrate the people he could save. The people that, obviously going for, the faster to treat injuries first so that you can get to the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Everything else, the lives he did save. And And he does know this is fake, you know, because he already lived it. You know, it's like that old timer wisdom thing. And do I still have that +2 to act under pressure from What Could Go Wrong, like a scene before?
Oh no, that wouldn't carry over.
Alright.
Also, there's this really fun Stargate Atlantis episode where they basically take people and put them in this like mindscape, but it's like happy. And one of them realizes this, so he starts manifesting all his friends that have died so he can see and hang out with them again. So I also kind of see Norman being like, I can't save these guys, but hey,
jovially talking with them, talking them down from their truly, like, horrendous, like, as they're dying, just saying the words he wished he said back then instead of now. And while he's still doing his thing, and he's just as fast as he ever was back then, and just gets to say goodbye in a proper way. You know, the people that survived, he gets to tell them, you'll make it through this. And the people that died, he's like, you know what? It'll be okay.
You know
I'm right here with you.
Make a charm roll, dude. Like, you just charmed the shit out of me. I feel like you charmed the heck out of that situation.
Aw.
You do charm. Right. Charm's good for you, right?
Charm is good for me.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I don't want to be like, hey, you did a great job. Roll a shitty number now.
roll the shittiest die you possibly can. Okay, 2d6, that is a 9.
With your bonus?
Plus, yeah, that's with bonus, I believe.
Perfect. So
9 with bonus is a 4 to 3 plus the 2.
Nice.
Perfect.
So you only managed to generate 1 bullet, but same thing. You remember all the beautiful memories of your friends, and you cherish getting to see them and be there, and you load that shotgun with a single shell that glows with that positivity. And that shell helps protect you a little bit, but not to the same extent as the others, as you square off against this nightmare hag.
Yeah. Although,
was that
I
flash
do have some
behind
fun
you?
things for dealing with dealing with when fighting monsters, so this will be fun.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a short answer. Someone could, there's someone in the house with me who could have flipped on a light switch, and there's a deck out here, and so there's a bunch of lights.
It was just particularly spooky given our current scene.
Yeah, right?
I saw it happen on my camera. I'm like, am I about to die, guys?
Well, it's been nice knowing you, Ben.
Hey, in case anything weird happens. Yes. So as you've each managed to fend off this kind of mental assault, you still find yourself in this nightmare realm. The tavern around you still decaying. The other people at the meeting are dead carcasses behind you, and you hear the voice in your head. You're not as weak as I thought you would be, so full of fear and hate. Well, I guess I'll have to take you on myself then. And suddenly this wraith of a creature snaps into this nightmare scene. You get the sense that they've been hovering just outside of your awareness, and in front of you, 2 minions pop up. They are manifestations of the things you just fought off, weaker than they should have been, but still made real by the energies of your fears. Terry, you've played this game before, right? I think you've done Monster League
Once or twice before. It's been.
Do you remember how combat works?
Not as much as I should.
So, no, you're good. So, I'm assuming a lot of other people don't know, which is partially why I was asking. But in this game, I don't ever get to attack you. So basically what happens is now you guys get to take actions. So you can read a situation to try to get a better sense of what's going on. You can investigate to try to figure out how to hurt these things. You can aid an ally. And you can do kick some ass, which is how you do damage. Depending on how you roll, though, I get to do damage back to you.
Okay.
So you guys get to go. So who wants to do something?
I feel like this is the moment I've been waiting for, some kick-assery.
I feel like you were in motion. I think that makes a ton of sense. Going for the Wraith or going for the minions?
I'm going to deal with the minions first, because lesser numbers is better for me.
Yeah, but what would Oaken do?
Oaken probably would like the glory of the big kill, though. So, you're right. I'm gonna go for the big guy.
Yep.
Girl. All right. Let's see. That's an 11.
All right. How much damage does your sword do?
3 harm, fire, holy. But it
Oh,
considered
fire.
weakness because I have smite.
Yeah.
So it's whatever it's weak against.
All right. And Steve, you'd had the moves up. Could you read the kick-ass move for us?
Okay, so for this, on a 10 plus, choose one extra effect. You gain the advantage, take one forward, or give +1 forward to another hunter. Option 2, you inflict terrible harm, +1 harm. Option 3, you suffer less harm, -1 harm. Or option 4, you force them where you want them.
Ooh.
Kind of like that one.
The last one?
Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna go with that one?
Yep.
Do you want to narrate a little bit how this attack goes, or can I do that?
Sure. If you have something in mind, go ahead. If not, I have
The
something.
only thing I want is I think you're going to kind of like push it out of this nightmare bubble, kind of rupturing this nightmare bubble.
Yep, that was
I
my
think
plan.
Okay, cool. Then go.
So, I look at them again and say, as I said, you are not invited in. And I swing my sword, and the flame bursts out, and the flame physically pushes them out the door and off the property of the tavern, which bursts this nightmare bubble.
And just to be clear, this is like the psychic tavern, because you guys are kind of in this. Yeah, so the flame kind of like boom, snap, and it's like you're inside a water balloon that's popping. And as that crumbles around you, you see the 2 other wraiths have also created nightmare bubbles, isolating the other people that were at the meeting with you.
Mm-hmm.
The one in front of you is very damaged, but they still manage to whip out a tentacle that wraps around your arm, gripping onto you, kind of anchoring you to them, and you are taking 2 damage.
She winces a bit, but lets out a little bit of a smirk, that knowing that this bubble is now destroyed.
Love it. What are you guys? Yep.
Could I help out?
Please, can you narrate what you want to do, and I will tell you what that is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking that of using my shotgun to shoot at the nightmare wraith in front of us that has her wrapped in a tentacle.
100%.
Cool.
Question.
All
just
right.
Point of order. Are we each in our own individual bubble, or are we in a... Okay, so it is a common, or was a common bubble.
Yeah, so basically there were 3 wraiths, so like each wraith is locking something up. So you guys haven't looked to see what it is yet, but basically each wraith kind of like split off to take different groups of people.
Okay.
So with that regard, I roll cool, right, for helping?
So if you're
just
shooting
in some way to shooting, not to necessarily damage, but to dislodge the tentacle from
Oaken?
From Oaken, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think what's the name of that move? It's like give some aid or
Help out?
Help out. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you'd roll help out.
All right, it's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, so your one shotgun shell just tears through this tentacle that's anchoring Oaken, and have been slowly pulling her in, and it's just severed. And with that, the wraith kind of stumbles back, and you hear like a screech. It's almost like that high-pitched whistle for dogs that you almost can't hear.
Oh, like the mosquito tones.
Yeah, and now that you've spent your one positive memory that was helping protect you, you feel another crushing kind of psychic attack come down upon you. And you are watching your current friends die in front of you to a wraith. And it's you're having trouble separating reality from nightmare.
Yeah, that one would get me. Ooh.
So I want you thinking about how is Norman dealing or reacting to this. Cool. I'm assuming. So technically, there's no turn order. Like theoretically, one of you guys could just go over and over again. But Marcus, what are you doing?
So, I feel like, yes, it's statistically one of his better options, but also feels like a very character option to read a bad situation because he's very analytical.
Got it.
So
remember to narrate for me, not just tell me the move. So what is Marcus kind of doing?
well, specifically, so to declare, if you will, my first hold.
No, like tell me, like, so your character's in this like weird kind of dream world. The bubble around you just broke, but it still looks like you're in this decaying, rotting tavern, facing off against this wraith. Now kind of near you, but not necessarily directly in contact. There's these other kind of nightmare bubbles that you can see, and you're kind of in this weird kind of blacky, foggy kind
Right.
of scape. So what is Marcus like looking at the other bubbles? Is Marcus staring at the wraith they're fighting? Like more like conceptually.
He's looking around, trying to find a weak point, a chink in the armor, if you will, to try and, put a stick in the gear, so to speak,
Of the wraiths?
of
the
the
nightmare bubbles?
wraiths, of the
Of everything? That's being
Yes,
vague.
kind
I'm
of.
trying to get you to like specify a little bit more. Because like you're in comment and you're just like, I'm looking everywhere at everything. So you can do that, but I'll probably give you a more general answer. If you give me a little more specifics, I'm going to give you more detail, if that makes sense.
So I think what his goal, if you will, is to try and break this bubble.
The other bubbles?
Yes.
Love it. All right, roll. And you better roll really well, and if you don't, you're using a luck point.
11.
Stop cheating, bro. Seriously. You haven't rolled below a 10.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm using the same bot the rest of you are.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like you loaded up the anti-Steve bot so you can finally do
Okay,
something.
you know me well enough to know there is no way I'm
There's no way
getting
that
into
you
the
can
bot
do that.
code. And messing
No,
with
you
this.
can't do that. You probably got Hagen to do it. Perfect. Yeah, so you look around and you see these other wraiths. They're kind of their tentacle kind of capes are holding on to this bubble that they seem to be projecting out around these other groups. And for that, you see that one of the bubbles is holding Reginald, and the other bubbles are holding the say the name for me.
Capybaras.
The capybaras. And you get the sense that these really are like balloons. They are as fragile as they are deadly. You have a bunch of holds that you can also use too, but
Yeah. So I technically have 3.
I gave you a lot of information because what you did was cool and what I wanted, so.
Yeah. So I think if it's within the realm,
Yes.
again playing off the Pythagorean theorem bit,
Yeah.
can I basically blast each bubble to break them with the shotgun?
Ooh. Roll me a kick some ass, and we're gonna, depending on how well you roll, we'll kind of indicate a 7 to 9. You're hitting 1. If you roll a 10 plus, you'll hit both.
9.
12. 9.
With a -1.
Love. So which bubble are you hitting?
You don't
I
know
think-
about Reginald.
Doesn't he?
You had said, well,
I didn't describe what he looks like, though. Like, you know that there is something, but I don't know if would equate the two.
I mean, at the point
because
where you flip.
Well, because of Hecate, he's kind of aware. Maybe you're not seeing Reginald, but you're seeing the concept, the energy. You're probably actually seeing the real form of Reginald that Oaken has never seen. So you probably have this sense.
I think he's also, Marcus is a little bit salty with the capybara too. So yeah, I'm definitely going to pop Reggie's bubble.
Perfect. Suddenly, Oaken, you just feel like this influx of power. Your wings are now like leveled up, whatever you want them to be. Sword is just blazing fire. You are feeling like superhuman.
Yeah,
And
my
in your
eyes
head-
start glowing very brightly and almost flames out of my eyes.
100%. And you're actually creating this glow that's almost repulsing this like nightmare space around you.
Yeah, and I don't appear any bigger. My aura just expands out from me, and
Yeah.
I walk
You
calmly.
seem bigger, but you're the same size you always did.
Yes. Yes.
But you
Cool.
feel giant.
So who wants to go?
I guess I'll go, and I'm going to try kicking ass again on the remaining bubble.
So you're ignoring the wraith that you're like in combat with and turning to take out the last bubble?
Oh, I guess I still am. I wasn't clear that I thought Terry took it out, but it just detached from me. It's still there.
I just grabbed it. I just
the
shot a
tentacle.
tentacle off.
Correct. So you
I freed you.
Yeah, exactly. The tentacle is going to cause you a lot of problems.
Okay. Yes, then I'm going to smite this wraith.
Perf. Oh shit. Okay.
Get revenge from me.
And I will use luck if I need to.
Okay.
I forgot luck was the thing we could use.
7.
Technically, you're hitting. I don't know what smite does, so tell me.
Smite just makes it so that it's vulnerable. It has weakness against what I hit.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was it's a passive, not an active.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you are doing 3 damage, with the potential for your moves to do more, or your holds, quote unquote, to do more.
So I'm going to... That's just barely a hit.
Correct.
So I am going to spend a point of luck to make it a 12.
All right. You are going to be annihilating this wraith. What does it look like?
So as I come at it, very calmly, I say, get out and never return. And my sword just comes straight down, bisecting from the neck through the torso.
Yeah. And as you do that, you hear this wail, and it's kind of like this, almost this swirling, and then as the wraith disappears, and the realm that you're standing on actually starts to disintegrate. But at this point, Oaken, you are creating a reality yourself. And so underneath of you is a solid foundation. What does that look like?
So it looks like what the path to Valhalla is.
Ooh, I think it's this blend of that with the tavern.
Right.
And so
These shiny pearlescent floorboards that look like they're made out of light itself, kind of like the bridge, the kind of like the bridge.
the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Bifrost.
brain's Bifrost. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that
where
work?
it's like, but
Does
it's
that sound
wood.
good to you, Oaken?
What's that?
Does that sounds good to you?
Yep.
Like
Perfect.
see-through pearlescent kind of like vibe. That just
Yeah.
so
So
so cool to me.
The Nightmare Tavern kind of like disappears around you, and you all drop just a little bit. I think both Marcus and Norman stagger a little bit, but Oaken like just slowly sinks down, and you're standing on this golden illuminate path, and out of it you almost have the tavern is like structured in that energy as well around you, as you are reclaiming your domain from these interlopers. And because you eliminated that one, suddenly, Norman, you drop out of your nightmare. You are no longer being accosted psychically.
Oh, I love it.
All right, 2 more wraiths and 1 bubble are left.
All right. Would it count? Could I take a pocket knife to it, to the shield, or does it only require magical equipment?
It requires it requires a very specific type of magical equipment, which the shotgun shells you've been provided are facilitating. And you had to charge those shells with very positive, basically anti-nightmare content.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the pocket knife itself would not just do that.
No, of course not. Let's see.
And also, you don't need to go because there's not a turn order, so technically anyone can go now as well.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't think you have something you definitely want to do, Norman.
So we are out. We are back to the somewhat apparent reality, right? There are the.
You're kind of like in this like bubble space because there's still wraiths that have pulled you into the kind of their realm, which is this nightmare realm. And what you were seeing were kind of more avatars in your world. And so they still have you pulled into this space. But Oaken is able to start claiming some of this space because of their tie to the tavern.
So
You
I have
handle
something-
the Wayne Enterprises folks.
I actually had an idea of something that I thought would be cinematically cool.
Do it.
So I think we had talked about the fact that Marcus apparently has a flamethrower.
Yes, we did.
And so I think this, remember the old-fashioned bug sprayers that
Yeah.
look like a bicycle pump? So I think it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Like an old-fashioned bug sprayer, like a bicycle pump with a canister underneath on the front of it. And there's some sort of mechanism that when he pumps it, it runs almost like a Zippo sparker wheel at the front.
Nice.
And so I think he looks at the 3 Agent Smiths.
There are 2 now because one of them's dead.
Just 2, and you can't see them as Agent Smiths. You're seeing them as these like, kind of like, almost like tattered robe, floaty, very wraith-like kind of creatures. One is still maintaining a bubble within it. It's
Okay,
got
so
the
those
puppets.
are the wraiths themselves?
The wraiths are the Agent Smiths.
Okay, so...
But you can still go after them.
Okay, so I think what Marcus does is he kind of pulls this out, and he kind of glances. Well, you heard the lady. She said, "Get out," and he just cycles the thing at the one maintaining the last bubble.
Love it.
So I don't know if you want to interpret that as a help out, what you want to interpret it as.
No, we got it. So I need one thing from you. So in order for these weapons to do damage, we need to have something that is grounding your character against a nightmare. So what is the scientific thing going through Marcus's head as they go to attack?
Combustion ratios.
Love it. Yeah. So I think as you start moving, Oaken kind of like glances over and like little kind of stepping like blocks start appearing of the golden energy field of the Path of Valhalla. So you're able to kind of like run up to get close to this, and then you say that line, and you're just blowing this flaming energy all over it, and you're like calculating ratios in your head, and it's just grounding you while you're doing it. So
Could I add one more thing to the scene?
would love for you to add at least one, if not more.
Could you spray it past my sword?
Ooh, even better.
I think Oaken is taking flight and is like going after this one, and you're able to position and totally can make that happen.
Okay. So let me take this back half a step then, right? So Marcus goes to do this, and some reason the spark thing isn't working, and he just kind of dives towards Oaken so that the spray pushes past the flaming blade.
Love it.
All right.
Yep.
I have an idea.
To add to this scene or for a different scene? Steve,
I'll
can I
have to
have you just
hold
make
it.
a kick some ass roll real quick? And while you're doing that, we're gonna have Terry tell us what their idea is.
All right. Assuming these are slugs, right? Not grape shot.
It's magic, bro. It can be whatever you want. Fine.
Okay, we're gonna
Roll
assume that the
freaking
shotgun shells are
damage.
slugs, so that they have that nice little point on them, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna whip out one of the slugs, and brace it between my fingers, you know, much like
I get what you're saying.
like this.
Yep.
And I'm gonna charge it full of positive energy.
Okay.
The memory, in fact, would be Norman's first day getting back home from fighting in that. What we assume, if it's Wild West, it probably is either
Don't matter. Don't matter.
probably like not
Civil
civil.
War.
There's several wars that happened.
It
during
doesn't
the
matter at this
era,
point.
but-
You got back from fighting a war.
and like that's the positive memory, like the being able to settle down, and
Coming home
calm
to his
down.
family. Love
Yeah,
it.
whoever's there, and
Yeah.
and so he has it clenched in his freaking fist, and he's gonna just use them as brass knuckles to punch the
Oh,
the,
heck yeah.
the last one left.
Says, no, the last one, Oaken's going after. You and
Or-
Marcus are taking out this one.
Yeah.
So, yes. So
We're
Marcus
taking
is
out
like
the one that's left.
lo-
so that we
flames is just hitting this one. It's actually kind of on the bubble, and the bubble's trying to catch fire. And it's like that cool kind of like when you light that, like the ground pollen on fire, and it does that like wave burn.
Oh,
It's doing
yeah.
that. But you see that the wraith. How much damage is this flamethrower doing?
Flamethrower is 3 close fire, volatile, and heavy.
All right. I don't know. I'd have to look up what volatile means, but cool. So this wraith is just up in flames and angry, and is turning and is lashing out at Marcus. Marcus, you take a psychic hit for 3 damage, and
Okay.
you forget your favorite scientific invention. What was it?
I think he invented some sort of like a mechanical drink mixer.
Cool. Yeah. And like you remember having the idea, you remember the concept, but it's like it's just outside of your ability to recall it.
Like it,
Yeah.
it both shakes and stirs.
Oh, awesome. But you just can't quite like you know it's there, but you can't get it out of your head. And you like hit and slide on some of this pathing that Oaken has made for you. As we see Norman kind of run up those same steps and is just doing this haymaker punch into the wraith. Make me a kick some ass roll.
Now, may I also suggest?
I rolled a
what
7,
could-
by the way.
I saw that.
Okay,
How
I
fucking
figured.
What could go
bro.
wrong whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging bets? Hold 2.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
applicable?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In that case, I will. Let's see. I'll go ahead and use those hold 2 to inflict +1 harm.
You still have to roll a die.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying preemptively. That's what I'm gonna do.
Got. Understood.
Just so that there's like no misses. No matter what the roll ends up being, this
Yeah.
is what I'm deciding.
Yeah.
So 2d6, and then in that case, oops, I forgot to do the plus. So plus the 7 plus 1, that's 8.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then if
So-
it hits, it'll be doing +1 harm.
You do hit. So you run up and you hit, and you like jam this like positive memory shell into the face of this wraith, and your hand is actually getting burned from this napalm, but the napalm tied to the Valkyrie energy causes this shell to detonate in the skull of this wraith, and it just disintegrates. But you get thrown away, and you land amongst the were-capybaras.
There you go.
Woo, that was
Were-capybaras.
hard, man. I don't know why I can't say this word until someone else says it for me, but I was struggling to get that one out. Perfect. And that bubble disintegrates with the wraith that dies. And suddenly we snap onto Oaken. Flaming wings. Giant ass sword racing towards the wraith that had imprisoned Reginald, his friend, his companion.
For the first time, you see the intensity on her face as she's coming down towards this final wraith. Wings ablaze, aura pushing out from her. as she tries to run this wraith directly through with her flaming sword.
Love it. Let's make it kick some ass roll.
9.
Perfect. So as you go to hit, you feel the energy of the tavern in the form of Reginald like jump up, grab the wraith, and hold them in place for you as the sword just bisects the wraith. Empowered by the tavern as you are able to dispel and kick the wraith out of your realm, out of your domain. Judgment
Out of
is
your
mine, and the judgment is death. And with that, suddenly, snap! You guys are back in the tavern. You see Hecate, who is there, and she's kind of has her hands on the walls, and you get the sense as soon as you're back that she's been empowering Reginald through this, trying to help stabilize them to hold off the attack, as you know that they would have been able to drain away the essence that is the tavern. The Wayne Enterprises, they're all shaken, standing up. Worse for wear, but unharmed. The most damaged is Norman. Burned.
Worse for wear, Capybara.
I couldn't say it, otherwise it would have been a great line. And with that, you have saved the tavern. You have saved your goddess and your friends. We see a montage of scenes as you guys form an alliance with the Wayne Enterprises, as they are seeking to start a shipping business, as they have access to resources here that are desired across the dimensions. And part of it is shipping people. And they are therefore able to provide an increased stream, not like that, Terry, people vacationing and stuff. So they are able to provide the dimensional beings the tavern needs to heal, recover, and thrive, as Oaken steps into the role of tavern keeper under the guidance of Hecate. You know that the ALI is going to move again, and you are solidifying your power base as you and Wayne Enterprises both seek to protect their interests in this realm. But for now, you have provided security to the mundane, the typical, everyday going people of Progress Junction. For the greater good, society has maintained its mandate and shielded those unable to shield themselves. We jump forward. Where do we find each of you after these actions have been taken? How have you grown and changed into these roles we find ourselves in? And if you guys want, we can say this is like 6 months later or whatever. The time doesn't matter to me as much. It's just like jumping forwards. How is your character kind of like settled out after all of this?
I think I would work with the were capybaras that were affected by they're still, because trauma takes a while to process through. So it's like, why not have someone who has processed through their trauma several times as a guide to process other people's trauma, right?
So I really like that,
especially having gone through that same kind of same experience of seeing your worst absolute nightmare. It would help to have somebody that could, help you through that. So that's probably what I would do, is work closely with those that are still recovering.
100%.
My hand's still healing enough and all that, and just eating for free at her diner, at her inn.
So I think what we see is the in-between tavern actually, because Oaken is able to like recreate space as much as they need, actually is creating a space for those who need recovery to come. And I think that you are actually starting to run this program out of the tavern for dimensional beings that have gone through many different types of trauma. And we see Norman gaining this sense of purpose and creating this community of people that really, until this point in time, they'd been missing and lacking. I think that's beautiful. I love that. Where do we see Oaken and Marcus?
I think Marcus has thrown himself into trying to build some devices that I think perhaps kind of help strengthen the warding on the tavern, like some sort of like resonance devices
Yeah.
that will strengthen the wards both directions on the tavern, both against, without, and also to contain what might be within.
Yeah, so I think the tavern has this ability to kind of like assimilate stuff and kind of modify itself based off of needs. So I think it makes a lot of sense that Marcus would be working closely with providing maybe even some weapons even and different types of things to the tavern to kind of grow and let it really be this kind of bastion of safety for people that are needing to escape the ALI, who are really kind of aggressively these psychic vampires in essence taking over all this space.
But I think
Cool.
also there's a pile in the corner because every, couple of weeks, whatever, he keeps trying to refigure out that damn drink mixing machine. And like there's this big growing pile of scrap in the corner where it just doesn't frickin' work.
And they're almost, but just not, you're missing like one thing. Love it. Great throwback. Cool. Oaken, where do we find our Valkyrie?
Reginald,
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
how many guests do we have arriving today?
Gosh, today alone we are having 15 people arriving. We have 10 who are here for an extended stay, and we are having 7 checking out.
Very good. So the ones that are checking out, please make sure that they have our best and make sure they have our card to make sure when they come back that they know that they're always welcome here. And just out of curiosity, ask them where they're going. Perhaps Wayne could assist them in their travels.
Perfectly good idea, ma'am. We are also including some of Miles's signature treats to try to endear them, as well as I've also included some of the packets in terms of the different ideas and projects you are putting together in the upcoming months. I will take care of that immediately.
Excellent.
Don't forget my pamphlets.
And Norman's Monsters Anonymous.
Has
Gotta have
Angus
my pamphlets.
has Angus brought us any more that need to transfer to Valhalla?
Yes. They are in the special rooms.
Very good. We will make sure that they find their way appropriately, and I have a special room set aside for anyone that's fighting ALI and have fallen in their fight against them. Have we made contact with any of the other taverns that might be working on being reestablished from ALI?
We are making slow progress, ma'am. I am just starting to get base functionality fully returned. Integration and expansion will soon be online for us to better be able to facilitate those types of interactions, though we are developing a communication network, if you will. Maybe spy network is the better term, but Wayne Enterprises, with its transport business, is providing an extensive amount of information in this area.
Excellent. Make sure that we share with them what we've learned from our experiences, and that way they can better take back what is theirs.
Of course, ma'am. I foresee them being very grateful for this. I will pass that along.
Very good. On with your duties, and I have things I must attend to as well.
And I think we see each of you three standing on the second floor wraparound porch, sipping one of Miles's local wines. That is a big draw for the people in the area. Down below is like a courtyard space where there's a bustling and kind of this intermingling of the locals who don't even realize they're sitting next to dimensional travelers and wear capoeiras. And the sun sets as we see you three carving out a safe haven for those travelers, the ones who are wandering but not lost, to rest when they need it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
What a closeout.
Very, very good. Thank you very much.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.